Hi, this is Terry with Exact Line Tools. Recently I had the opportunity to do a special project with my friend Aaron Vickery. A 1958 Chevy Impala came into his shop. It was painted white over the original Panama yellow. You can see it's pretty much a plain Jane big white car, but that's about to change. Now here's the portion I did on the car, and that was fill and block all of the panels on the car. I achieved that by lightly sanding it with a finish DA and 220 grit paper just to knock the shine off from the white paint job. I then went over it with a dry blocking powder and blocked it with my long block, my 18-inch long block, with 180 grit paper. All of the low spots I found, I did a sweep across it with my number 2 blade and the stiffener attached to it, doing horizontal sweeps from the top of the panel down. Here we can see it's in the spray booth just ready to get primed. You can see there's a lot of work that was done. All of that light green and pink is Bondo. Here we can see that already the car has a beautiful shape to it. Even in primer we can see that. Now let's parse that out. Here's the left quarter panel. We can see 80–90% of it has been filled and blocked. Let's have a look at it with some paint. Well, we're going forward here for a moment to see the fender and the door. It looks beautiful. The door blends perfectly into the front part of the quarter panel. Let's go back here and have a look at the other half of it. The reason I picked the quarter panel was because it's the longest, most complicated part of the bodywork. Here we can see getting down low. This panel is beautiful. It has a shape that just is mesmerizing. There's no special custom shaping to it, just blocking it and removing all of the flaws, all of the waves, and making it one continuous line. Now if we go over to the right side and take a look at that quarter panel, we can see the same thing. We see a sequence of sweeps, horizontal, going from the back of the quarter panel forward, one after another. Even going into the door at the front of the quarter panel, it required a fill to make it one common line. Now we can see again the various fillers, and we can see the paint of the original car and the white, some of it still remaining. It all worked as part of the repair medium. Now let's look at this quarter panel on the right, and we see again a beautiful shaped quarter panel, something that you could sit and look at for some time and not get bored. The subtleties, the delicate transitions from one radius to another are amazing. Let's look at the top of that same panel and see that there was a lot of waves and distortions up there as well. Since the 1950s, I'm sure people have been sitting up there. It's a nice, comfortable spot, and I don't think people could resist. But I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Let's have a look at it in paint. But before that, I got to take another look at this paint job on the top. It's ridiculous. It moves across the top like magic and rests on the package tray. The entire car is buffed to brilliance. It's just an amazing paint job. But let's get back to my part of the job, which is the body. Moving across the top of that left quarter panel, we see a perfectly straight line, eliminating any imprints that were made along its long life. Remember, this car is nearly 60 years old, and it is beautiful beyond its original appearance. The right quarter panel also just sweeping and beautiful. Let's look at the taillight area on this car, where we find more low spots. Right in the middle of the eyebrow that goes above the taillights, we see a low spot. Same on the right side here, above, right in the middle, and beyond. Well, let's see how that plays out once it's painted. Again, it looks beautiful. It has a common line running across the sweep. It looks like a polished teardrop ruby. Now we're going to look at the hood. We can see that there was damage on the back side of the hood towards the cowl. Half of it needed to be swept, and up across the front on both sides needed to be swept. And we see that that has rendered a beautifully flat panel up on top, and across the front just a perfect area to lay a spectacular paint job on. We're going to look at that for a little bit, but I'd like to move now into showtime. Let's see what this thing looks like outside. This car is spectacular in the daylight. There's so many subtleties to take in. The complexity of the body is amazing to look at, the curves and the shape of the body, along with the paint, which is truly magical. It is a showstopper. It is a celebrity smile that you can't help but look at. It's just fantastic. But I think it's better described if you look at it as you move across the panels. So let's go into a little bit of video. Coming up on the car, it has a different tone and personality depending on what angle you look at it. Here we're going to sweep down the side of it, and we're going to see all of the accents, the beautiful shape of the ultra straight body. The paintwork is just dazzling. The chrome accents just add to this beautifully put together car. And a quick shot of the maestro Aaron talking about his next fantastic project. Here we're going to take a run down the side of the car and have a look at 20 feet of straight body here. Just gorgeous. The straighter the body is, the better the paint's going to look. Just like an old precious stone from 200 years ago where they didn't have the technology to give it a straight cut, they were lackluster compared to a gemstone today, which is just brilliant, just like this car. If you look at the sunburst on the hood, the paint job is magical. And I was happy to be able to create a body that was perfect for that sort of magic to lay on top of. Got to take another look at the top of that car, and if you look at the dashboard, fantastic, the same theme across the top onto the package tray. This car is just amazing to look at. If you enjoyed the video, I would hope you would like us on Facebook,